Hello and welcome to another episode of the devlog of Runes of Aereal. So what have I been up to? A lot of changes in the user interface, and I've decided to change the content of my cards that I have up until now. And you'll see a big difference um, versus what I had in the past. So you can see here all of those cards has been pimped to really have more nice graphics. You can see the card itself, of course, is the same, but the inlay of the images is quite different, and it's much more realistic and much more retaining to the new user interface I've been using in the game itself. So the game itself was much less cartoonesque and much more with realistic images, and the cartoons were a bit more unrealistic. You can see the difference here in the cards that I've already done here at the top, and the cards that I've not yet done here at the bottom, like Whirlwind, Runes of Madness, and Flask of Venom. So, and I thought I would go through the process today on how I do that, how I get these new things here, because they all fit perfectly together. Like all of those images are like more or less the same images as they were before, but only a bit more professional. So how do I do that? I don't buy them, or I don't go on Fiverr to have them created. It would cost me a fortune, of course. But instead, I just use artificial intelligence, like I've been using ChatGPT for creating the missions and stuff like that. I'm now also using artificial intelligence to generate these things. And they generate royalty-free stuff. And I'm doing it with Microsoft Bing. And Microsoft Bing actually can give you free generated images of the prompt you ask it, and you've got like 100 credits per day. I've already done some things today, so I'm down to 81, but you have 100 credits today. You can see here in my profile I have had 519 image generations, and the most recent ones you can see here. So what I'll do for this session is I'll just go and pimp the Flask of Venom here. So you can see this Flask of Venom. We have these 3 levels of the card where we have 5 Venom, 7 Venom, and 9 Venom. Let's just generate this Flask of Venom instead. So let's go here. And what I've done is, it's a very meticulous process where this sentence here, for a dark fantasy game, highlighted, is always in my prompt. And I've done this to generate the same type of images every single time, because you can see here it's pretty dark, and it's like a fantasy game type of thing. And by putting this sentence for a dark fantasy game in there, actually the image creator of Microsoft Bing, which is powered by the DALL-E engine, is going to generate the same type, the same, like say, the same look and feel every time. So let's just do a Flask of Venom for a dark fantasy game. Then we go and then it generates it. And actually the generation process doesn't take all too long. And the great thing about it is you'll get 4 images, 4 alternatives generated for you. So you can pick one of the 4, and if you're not satisfied, like I was here, not satisfied, you can just readjust your thing here, your prompt, and then it will go and change that. So okay, I don't want anything with text, so let's ignore this one. And the other ones are pretty good already, but I'm going to go with more a green tint, please. So you can also specify what kind of tint or what kind of tone you want of your image you're generating, and that's great. So let's see here what it looked like. With bright bubbles or something. Perfect. Flask of Venom with bright bubbles. Close up. that's done. So now I'm refining my prompt engine just like I would just go and tell one of a freelancer on Fiverr how I want that image. I want more at the close-up. I want more. Here we have it. So that's great. I like this one. This one. So let's go with this one, and you can just download it. You have this Bing image here, but you'll see that I'm just going to ignore that. Now I've downloaded it, and I've taken the liberty to open up this in the GIMP. I'm using the GIMP free software, of course, to do that. And I'm going to re-engineer these cards for Flask of Venom. And then you see in Flask of Venom, I have 5, 7, and 9, depending on the level of the card. So I'm going to export them like that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go and put that there, import it, and then I'm going to scale that more like that and put it somewhere right here. So I've got this guide here to make sure that I know what the middle is, and I think it should be a little bit more like that. Okay. Yeah, that's about it. Maybe a little bit more to the right. I'm just going to go and hide the guides and make it like that. That's still good. Let's see. That's pretty good, I think. The only thing I'm going to do is increase the opacity here because then it's more highlighted like that, so it's nicer. Okay, and I'm going to export that to the export scene, and Flask of Venom level 3, great, so place that thing and export it. And now I'm going to make the level 2, and therefore I need to make the color change, and I need to do 2 skulls instead of 3, and I'm going to go and change the 9 towards a 7. And then I can export that again, but instead of level 3, it's level 2. Replace that thing again. All right. And the last thing is 5 Venom, of course, and I'm going to level 1 and go to the default color of dark green. And here we have level 1. Export that one too. Export, and that's it. So now I have Flask of Venom. I'm going to save that, and I'm going to go over here. So Flask of Venom, I'm going to open up that one, for example. Yes. So then we have the level 2, and then we have the level 1. There we are. And now we have Flask of Venom completely revamped towards the same look and feel of all the rest. So I have some other ones to do. You'll see here, those are the ones I've implemented already in the game. Those are the ones I haven't implemented yet or will be implementing in a later phase. So in that respect, I think we're getting pretty close to something really revamped, a game that's really revamped. So I'm going to go off and finish all of those cards first, and then I'm going to go get back into the game and go test if everything looks nice and complete my HUD interface to also make more realistic. So that's a little glimpse into my work and way of working and creating those cards for those ones interested in how do you do a process like that, for example, for an indie game developer who's tight on a budget. And really, it isn't that difficult, and it's not that hard to do, and it's pretty quick as well. So left alone the fact that I have quite some cards already, it's taking me a while because I have a lot of cards and I want it to look really good. But apart from that, the process itself is not very difficult. So I hope you learned something again. As always, please like and subscribe, and see you next time.